Even before Wes Moore was officially sworn in as the governor of Maryland, a number of Democrats and media outlets were already asking one big question. Will he run for president? A little spoiler alert from our conversation. The answer, according to him, is no, at least for now. But I asked him about his life before politics and the issues facing his state in a wide-ranging interview at the Annie Casey Foundation in Baltimore. Tell me a little bit about where we are right now.
My family's journey changed here. We're at a place called the Annie Casey Foundation, which is one of the largest foundations in the country that's exclusively devoted towards disadvantaged children. It was also the place that my mother got her first job that gave her benefits after my dad died.
When your mother got that job, how did it change your life?
My mother came into the room and she literally had tears in her eyes. And she was telling us about this, that she just got a job. I had no idea that what she was telling me was that our life was about to change, because this was her first job that allowed her to work one job instead of multiple jobs. It was the first job that gave her a measure of reliable hours to the work that she was doing.
What do you think most people don't understand about what it takes to lift yourself up out of poverty?
I think people think that it's easy just to get out of it. I think people think that there's this idea that, well, people should just work harder. Well, how hard do people have to work when oftentimes the people who we're speaking about, and particularly you're talking about people who are the working poor, these are individuals in many cases who are working jobs, and in some cases working multiple jobs, and still living at or below a poverty line. How much harder are we asking them to work?
Part of the debt limit deal that you didn't have anything to do with, but it was struck in Washington, it will impact you and people in the state, is work requirements for SNAP benefits for people ages 50 to 54. How concerned are you about those work requirements for that age group?
I am concerned. We're literally talking about people who already are burning so thin. And then to now say we want you to continue to justify your impoverishment. We want to continue making it more difficult and more challenging for you to do some of the basics for your children and your family that you're already not finding time for.
I don't have to tell you, gun violence and also gun restrictions has become pretty politically charged.
Yep.
And another governor, Ron DeSantis, you may have heard of him, recently made a comment, I'm going to paraphrase, that you're more likely to get shot than get a good education in Baltimore. So what do you have to say about that?
I think he should come spend some time in Baltimore. And frankly, I mean, he needs to worry about the fact that he's got some of his largest employers suing him. For him to use us as a punchline or to use us as a talking point, it continues to show that we have these so-called leaders who do not have a plan. What they have is a playbook. The playbook is every single election cycle, make people scared, and then tell people you're the only one that can solve it. Without a plan. I haven't heard a single thing that he has proposed that's going to make anyone in the city of Baltimore safer. Now, what we're doing is we're actually putting together policies that are making people safer. What we're doing is actually doing things like making sure we can get and keep these illegal guns out of our neighborhood. We're actually doing things. But if he wants to continue making Baltimore or anywhere else a talking point, the thing that I would recommend to him is this: actually come spend time here, because you might learn a little something about how you can actually fight violent crime.
The NRA has already sued you over a recent bill you signed into law. Yeah. How do you feel about some NRA legal action against your state?
I've seen some pretty tough enemies before in my life, and I'm not scared of the gun lobby.
There's a bit of a circus going on in the Republican primary. Nikki Haley and Tim Scott have really been making this argument out there that America does not have issues with systemic racism, while also bringing up their own individual experiences with racism. What does that tell you about how they're trying to appeal to Republican voters?
I just think you can't have this both ways. You can't try to sell me on your personal story of upliftment and the fact that you overcame the odds, and then say, but there were no odds. You can't have it both ways.
You debunk your own story.
You're debunking your own story.
Before I let you go, I want to ask you about book bans. A lot of the focus has been on African-American history and literature. Why do you think this has become a passion project of some conservatives?
I continue hearing people making the argument that we're doing it because we want to prevent our students from having discomfort or guilt, because we don't want our students to be able to really wrestle with these really difficult things in times when they're maturing as individuals and difficult historical points. But the thing I realized, and I wanted to speak out about it, is that's actually not true. It's a guise.
It's not about making kids uncomfortable.
It's not
saying.
About making kids uncomfortable. It's not about making kids uncomfortable. It's not about making kids feel 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 uncomfortable. It's about telling other kids that they shouldn't understand their own power. It's castrating them.
Telling African American kids they should not understand their own power.
Because if you know your history, you know your power. The reason that I know that every single day I can stand in my own skin and I can stand in my own power is because I know my history. I'm humbled by the fact that I come from a long line of visionaries and fighters and educators and activists and people who did not know me, but they fought for the hope of me. And by telling me that that history is not important, or by telling me that if you teach it to me, that is going to somehow put the person who taught it to me under investigation, you're telling me that you don't want me to understand my power. And that's what this is all about. I think we need to make bigotry expensive. If you're having a conference in a state that now finds book banning to be the highest of priorities for the chief executive of that state, bring your conference elsewhere. And I'm asking people, come to the state of Maryland. I want to make sure that there are going to be economic consequences.
So companies and organizations should lead with their values here.
100%.